Hello, what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. It is the Reality Vibes, and it's your girl Edna. Yes, and of course, it's Morgan, as always, in for the Reality Vibes. Back once again.
Yeah, we're back.
Yes, and you're listening to the CBM Radio, proudly sponsored by the National ICT Innovation Hub. Yeah, and we are super excited to be back once again for another one of our episodes.
Yeah.
It's the Reality Bars. We keep it fun, we keep it unfiltered, raw, and just real. Yeah?
Yeah.
Morgan, how are you?
I just like the divination. I'm cool. Yeah, basically, I'm good. How about you?
I'm okay, I guess.
You just guess. People who are depressed and in anxiety, that's how they always say.
Oh my God.
Okay, I guess why and what, so you better be sure.
Maybe I'm in anxiety or depression.
Sometimes it's just
sure.
Sometimes it's just hunger. Someone is hungry and then they're like, I'm in anxiety. They brought for us those terms. Now people be using them wildly even where they are not needed.
Well, it's all you who started this whole anxiety and depression thing. So
yeah, but anyway, jokes aside, depression is real, anxiety is real, and all that stuff. Don't laugh. I'm trying to be serious. Like, these things are real.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
I guess
we should check on our people.
Yeah, okay, it's cool, people.
Yeah, anyway. Don't wait for someone to check on that. They also have a phone. They should text. Someone has to text first, of course.
Yeah, of course there is somebody who has to text first by all means.
You get?
So if you keep waiting for the other party to text.
And actually, you should, in a moment, you should be the grown up. You should be the grown up because some things are just childish and some people don't know.
Yeah.
So you should always be the grown up.
So Morgan, you always text first.
I text first for matters concerning friendship, matters concerning life. Someone is depressed, they are sick. I've taken long and I sing them. But for matters concerning the heart, I might text first because I'm male. It's alpha. I have to pursue the lady. But I don't text twice. I text first, but I don't text twice.
You don't text twice. What if you send, hey, baby?
I send the baby,
you send another and how are you?
I send, no, okay, it depends. What I mean, I don't text twice. You may send someone, hey, baby. Then they blue tick that. They see that, or they don't. I don't know. And then it may be text one day, or even maybe 2 hours or something, and then you text again. Now that's being needy or something.
Okay.
But texting 2 messages that Tego, that's not texting twice. Texting twice means you sent some messages, took some time, and then by saying, hey baby, one message, how are you? That's not texting twice. That's like texting once. Then twice is after a span of some time. That's basically it.
Okay. Morgan, yesterday I was watching NBS and I saw they were showing the unemployment crisis on NBS. Generally, though, they were showing the general unemployment crisis in Uganda.
Right.
And they were showing that from 2019, the people who are employed were 10.4 around there, or 10.2, something like that. And currently, the people who are employed in 2025 are 9.2. And it's crazy.
9.2 M.
Yes.
People are employed.
Yes, millions.
Uganda has
people have
Uganda
the number
has,
of people.
Uganda is going to make 50 ma.
50 ma, yeah, and you can imagine
the difference.
Yes,
I mean
the difference, and leave alone the difference being big. The fact that the difference just keeps increasing from 2019 to 2025. It's just increasing.
Hence high crime rates. Actually, yeah. Yesterday was Labor Day. It was a Thursday, it was Labor Day. For all of those who didn't know, it was Labor Day. Some people have jobs, they work in spaces where they cannot even identify public holiday. Someone's like, it's a public holiday. They can't even,
Especially hospitality.
Yeah, public holidays are usually taken for the corporate jobs, office jobs and all.
Yeah.
Apart from these major ones, the Easters, the Christmas, but then there's others, AIDS, National AIDS Day, the Bad Day, Heroes Day. Some people just don't recognize those days. But for all our listeners, yesterday was public holiday. It was Labor Day.
Yeah.
And Labor Day basically means labor, employment, working,
Workers.
whatsoever. Yeah. So you may be surprised why Edna is talking about percentages of employment and all. And that was criteria of the day yesterday. And I would want to put, now that you've mentioned it, I would want us to put a light on the like Uganda being a third world country and all. The employment and stuff, unemployment.
You're really so strong on the third world country and all thing. I don't know.
It's just factual, and the sooner you actually this happens. This is true of all aspects of life. The sooner you accept who you are and all your problems and everything that comes with it, the sooner you leave that situation if you don't want it.
Okay.
Or the more you get synced into it. So it depends on what you want.
Of course, unless you're planning on leaving the country.
All I know is I'll be president one day, so I want I want to must believe where my country is and where I'll take it.
Comment on that one. Morgan is going to be our president in say 40 years now.
Yeah. So anyway, Edna, speaking about this, what do you feel? Like you've given us percentages. Like out of roughly 50 million people, 9 million are employed. That's not even half. That's not even quarter. Because a quarter of 50, that's probably, this is 25, then that is 12.5. So that's not even quarter of the population being employed.
I feel like that's however much they're on a television, national television, I don't think they cater for all people who are employed. You know, like Boda guys. No,
but then look, I agree with you because these guys are most especially. I think they look at the formal sector.
Yeah, mainly.
Yeah, formal sector. But then there are some job. There are some people that okay. This is what we call employment. Like, okay, I don't want to discriminate between jobs and all, but this is what we call working for survival, and someone being employed to like you know,
because employment
sustain yourself.
You know, employment for me, when I'm to understand employment, you are supposed to be working, and you are having that safety. You know, you're supposed to be safe at work. You know, I feel like if I'm a border rider, I'm not safe. There is no guarantee I will even go back home in the evening. So that's why they may not consider.
I don't believe that.
Because they cannot do HSE.
People are employed in Minecraft, and that's employment.
Yes, but there are criteria they take. There is criteria they take for those guys who work in
signing
the line,
and all.
You know,
so, but you're looking at it in the aspect of risks.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is employment actually? You know, today's episode we're gonna be a little bit formal about you know what's going on, employment, because I was triggered by like what Edna just said, the status of people not having jobs, people who are like idling, and I was like, whoa,
it's crazy.
You know, so I'm like, living alone the young population, but most especially when we're talking about the working population in Uganda, that the education is low and all, you find out that kids start employing themselves or going for employment or start looking for what to do at the age of 15 in third world countries.
Not in third world countries. Do you know why?
No, I mean out of situation. Leave alone those.
There are very few.
Leave alone those. The Kevin Midnicks who do work while they're 8.
No, Morgan. I tell you what I'm talking about is different. Very, very many young people. Leave alone. Katiwali are these young people who are pushed to go into work because maybe now they're dropping out of school and no one is able to take care of them. But young people in Uganda, by the time you're 16, you feel like you're still a baby. Daddy needs to give you pocket money. Daddy gives you upkeep.
It depends which household. Some of us like stopped asking for pocket money when we were 12. They're very that few. Happens. No. They're most actually. They're like poor people are more than rich people.
Surely.
So kids of the poor people adjust faster than the kids of the rich people. Because these kids, like, they lack a lot. If you lack, you resort to habits, you resort to maybe adjusting to behavior or what, either get a side gig in holidays or get bad habits like stealing other kids' grab or stuff, you know. So it's the poor kids that adjust most. So to the percentage whereby the poor kids are the most So that just brings about like maturing faster, like being the bigger percentage, bigger because they're the most fun. I think you can see it in that way.
But then again, you find that still, however much these kids start working, maybe early, they still struggle for a very long time, and somehow even the ones who didn't start early catch up with them.
Of course, struggling. That's evident. I mean, of the country and everything, and the situation, the policies, that's just evident.
But the general mindset of young people in Uganda, especially students between 16, 15 and 14, usually the mindset, especially if you go in boarding schools, the mindset usually is I expect to be given pocket money when I'm coming back to school. Somebody is going to go in holiday for 3 weeks and they're not going to think of making something for themselves.
I don't blame them.
Back.
I don't blame them. There are kids.
You can't blame them. But do you know people in first world countries like the US, like UK?
They have opportunities. Don't you ever? I don't want you. I don't want you to compare. I don't want us when you're talking about Uganda and things of employment and stuff, and you start comparing to the US, or that's a very, very. I know that's where we want to get.
We are not comparing.
Don't reflect the kids of here to the kids of that side.
No,
it's very, very
we
wrong.
We are comparing the mindset and why sometimes
don't even compare the mindset to those ones. Compare the mindset in your community, in your society. Don't compare them regarding to those. Don't compare them regarding to the mindsets of the other ones.
That is not a way to grow. You see why you end up when say you get an opportunity to go outside, you end up being like, okay, I want to move, because you've compared between the two countries and you've found out that okay, this is actually better. Here's what happens when you get to see the mindset that is being implanted in young people or 14-year-olds in other countries. The mindset being implanted in them is different from the mindset being implanted here.
The mindset,
know why?
let me tell you.
Let
me tell you the mindset being planted in them. The mindset being planted in them is that you can be anything. You can be of any gender. You can choose to be in a gender of a chair. You can choose to be a girl when you're male.
No, we're not talking about gender
No,
here.
that's the mindset. I don't want you to be I don't want us to be talking about sensitive topics like employment and you bring kids at a mindset. We are talking here. You make me. I don't want to go political, but these are things that are concerning the government, that is concerning our leaders in society, different aspects and places. Don't compare that. Let's just keep it to the ground. Let's just keep it Uganda.
For you, you're trying to say, we keep it Uganda. But here's the fact. Here's the fact. You cannot come to talk about issues and you say you're not going to look at the way other people are doing it. In the mindset we need to have a mindset shift as Ugandans. If you do not have a mindset shift,
the only thing we can look at.
Why do you know? I have a friend who visited Algeria some time back last year, and they were telling me he met 19-year-olds who were the planners for this event that they had gone for. I want you to listen.
I heard those stories.
They
you're
had
trying
planned
to tell
for. I'm trying to tell you why we need to have a mindset shift in Uganda.
Let me.
They were 19-year-olds and they had, they were involved in these things. Let me tell you, me at 19. At 19, I was just at campus.
These guys have resources.
No, leave alone the resources. Yes, the resources.
Wait. First of all, these guys have direct education lines. Whereby the guys...
Morgan, we are going to exploit all the reasons why there is a lot of unemployment in Uganda.
The bad thing now, what I'm trying to say is you're diverting me. You're diverting me from
I was just
what...
giving an example of what we also have. We also have a responsibility.
You're diverting me from what I wanted to introduce to our leaders. Now we are in comparisons. I tell you, the kids of the other ends. I tell you, you're diverting me from what we came to talk about here. We are not talking about. We are talking about. I want us to keep it Uganda. I want us to talk about. Yes, the comparisons will come in when
there is nothing like keeping it Ugandan.
We are talking about why there are low employment and where the low employment levels in the country and there are more unemployment levels in the country. That's what we're trying to. That's why we're trying to do.
Yes, and there are very many reasons. Do you know some people are voluntarily unemployed? Do you know that?
Those are the few ones.
And do you know that we have a responsibility as Ugandans?
Those are the few ones. A lot of people want to work.
We have a responsibility. If I had been involved so much in work, okay, me personally, I would say I had been involved a bit, but there are children who are not involved in work when they're at a young age. They start to realize that I actually have to work.
They don't have opportunities.
When they are 21.
They don't have opportunities.
Leave alone opportunities.
Like, wait, your mom, like, she has you've graduated off loans, whereby she has a smaller car restaurant at the chalo. You guys, that's where she gets the meals you have to feed you, the what. So you come out, you try to, wait, what people don't know is there are people who are extraordinarily clever, wise, intelligent, knowledgeable, and there's some people that just need a system to groom them. That if they get the right system, they are going to be the best they can ever be. But if they have a broken system, they're in a wrong system, they'll just become losers. Yet they would have accounted to something. Now,
where does charity begin from?
People expect everyone to have this mindset, but you're a kid, so you should.
Where does charity begin from?
You should come out first. Hold up. You should come up and do this. Now look at the environment, exploit the opportunities. Do this. Some people don't have such mindsets, and we don't blame them because that's how they were meant to be. The reason why there is wise is because there is foolish. They wouldn't be wise without foolish. You get? So some people, and that's most. I'm talking most of the people because the wisest are the few. Most of the people just need a proper system to nurture them. They're like, okay, go do this, and they will give you the very best.
That's
you
why
expect them to the fullest. Now people expect everyone to be this kind of someone that like stop sitting at home and now go look for this opportunity, look for this. Some people would be good if they are. Some people cannot. That's why some people are employees and some are employers. Just because everyone has something they are good at in their own aspect. You find an employee that can never be an employer, but is doing very well in the employee field. But put him as an employer, put him as a manager, put him as a handler of things, they're going to mess up things. That's what I'm trying to say. Like we just need a proper system so that when we get extraordinary brains, extraordinary people who can craft a lot of things at once, then we can maybe divert them and put them to some more advantageous things. But most of the people just follow. We are like ducklings. Just follow straight up a straight path, and they will give you results through the following. So all we need is a proper system. Not saying some kids that they are 21, that they're not doing this, and they just don't have the brains to do that, and it's not their problem. Because if they're given the opportunity, they'll execute. That's only what I'm trying to say. I hope you get my point of view. Yeah?
You see, you've not understood. I'm not saying the system is not contributing
Why
to
are you
why
talking
people
about
are
Algeria
unemployed.
and what the 19-year-olds are
I'm
doing?
giving you an example of mindset shifts. Do you know why I'm giving an example of mindset shifts? You find that there are very many youths who have been given opportunities to work in certain areas in departments, but they're not able to execute because of the mindset they're having, the mindset that has been groomed in them. I understand the education system it contributes a lot, and it contributes the biggest percentage. But there are other factors that we can also work on, because you can have opportunities and you fail to utilize them. You can have the opportunity.
Yeah, things like, of course, things like that.
So that's why I'm telling you, charity begins at home. What is instilled in a young person, what is instilled in you as you're young, is the mindset that you come up with. If you've been instilled in the fact that, okay, you will start working maybe when you're 21, however much you go through education, even if it's good, you will never be able to utilize the opportunities when they come. You'll never be able to utilize them. That is just maybe a small percentage of what contributes to why people are unemployed. But
I know an example of countries whereby a child goes to school, they get a career path or something they want to develop in and study and all, and by the time they're done, they already have a job on the table. And that's the easiest path. Going to school, learning a skill, coming out, and you find a job on a platter. Just there. That's the easiest path.
Yes.
And the biggest percentage of people, this is what they are looking for. They want to go to school, study, find a job.
But it's not going to come out like that. Especially
and I'm saying it can. I'm saying it can come out like
Uganda.
that. But the only what
but we have to work
what is the problem
it.
why it is not coming out like that?
it's not only the education system. I understand the education system does not work well. I understand it very much.
No, I'm not talking about the education system.
We've been through the system.
I'm not talking about the education system. I'm talking about a child doing Form 6, going to university. They have learned a skill. Most preferably.
That is education.
Most preferably, yes. Most preferably a doctor. They have learned their doctor is a professional doctor by certificate and everything. And now, coming out, the government has already offered. It's like we need from Makerere, we need this number of students coming in as new doctors and all, and the jobs are already there on the platter. And that can only be possible by the government, by the system, by the. You get?
Yes. But the government cannot just wake up in the morning and do these things when
you just don't know the possibility of governments.
In Uganda. We are looking.
Yes, you're looking in Uganda. Have you seen Burkina Faso? I think 3 years ago, because Ibrahim Traore, I think he came on. That's about 3 years ago. Yes, 3 years ago, Uganda had a bigger economy than 3 years ago. I'm talking about 3 years ago. I'm talking about fucking 3 years ago. Had a bigger economy than Burkina Faso. But right now, the country is free of debt. People are getting free apartments. They can do these things. You don't know what these guys are capable of. It's just that they just choose not to. I just want you to know that.
Okay, I don't want to go into what the actual government should be doing. Yeah, because we are not here to discuss politics.
No, it's not. No.
But you see,
but we're here to change the world, to change the people, the perspective, and the country and everything.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I'm on anyway. I'm on entertainment, but sometimes you're on serious business, and employment is something that's really, God damn it, so hectic. Like having people who are ready to work, who are ready to offer themselves to be employees, but they just can't get the opportunity just because of some fucked up things they don't even have control over. It's so wild.
Yeah, we understand. There are very many factors that contribute, but for me, I'm going to give you now an example. However much the system and all that can be, and okay. There are very many young people at university who. No, let me first go back a bit behind. Last year, I met someone I studied with at campus, and I was introducing to him this opportunity for marketing. It was a voluntary thing. He was supposed to volunteer with this lady for 3 months, and after she was willing to give him salary at the end of the day. And when I was trying to introduce this whole thing to him, he kept saying, is there money? Is there money? Is there money? I kept telling him, you have to first volunteer with this lady in order for you to get what you want.
And I don't blame him.
And trust me, right now he has nothing he's doing. He's not doing anything. And how long was that? It was around November.
Could he fit
right now it's been 5 months and he's not doing anything.
But all right.
He's not doing anything. You see, young people need to know, and I understand that volunteering you can be exploited, especially if you're volunteering at an organization that is not looking at growing with you, but you also need to be. You have no skill. You've understood that the education system in Uganda does not give you skills. Now,
the system is
you've been given an opportunity.
You have understood the system is rigged.
You might have told you the system is rigged, but I'm not here to, exploit it so much, because honestly, people have talked.
Okay, I get your point of view.
We also need to look at what we can do. Finger the people who are being hurt, who are being damaged by what is happening. What can we do in order to help ourselves come out from it? There are very many startups, over 2,000 startups in Uganda currently, that could really require services. And these startups are going to bloom in, say, 2 years, 3 years. And if you're just given an opportunity to just work with this startup for even 6 months, the skills you could get that could actually get you the job you're looking for in a bigger organization. These days are not willing to learn.
Some people
they
don't
don't have skills. They know they don't have skills.
They don't have work experience.
They are not willing to even gain their skills. They think they're going to be called and they're going to be given a job of 1 million with their knowledge of statistics and business administration that they cannot actually, implement. However, I don't want to hold it against everyone and all that it's only their problem and all. Now, yeah,
So Edna, what do you think? Okay, before we go any further, I just want us to explain what do you think is the reasons why there are more unemployment levels, like the unemployment levels are so high. A lot of people are not employed.
The reason people are not
I want
employed.
us to break down these reasons because from the short story you've given us, I've already got one. Maybe some people are not willing to be patient. To gain in the long run. Some opportunities require patience so that you get something out of them in the long run. Yeah. So any other reason? What do you think? Because I personally I do tie it more about the governance system and all. But then if you come down to the ground, some of us are still, even if the government was good and all, some of us will still be unemployed.
Okay. But the biggest contributor to unemployment in Uganda is our education system.
That's
and of course,
real.
the education system can dress back to the government. Reason why the education system, yesterday I met a guy, we were in a short meeting with somebody, and he told me, if I were to become the president of this country, I would ban all schools and introduce new schools that are only having skilling for young people. Skilling carpentry or anything, skilling.
I understand.
Do you know
that's
some
real.
people come out of school and they cannot use a Google Drive by the end of Form 6? Like, people, first of all, yes, the education system is, it's not proper. There is a lot of theory, no practical, though I think they're trying with the new curriculum and all. But it's affecting us so much. I tired already. But the education system is just bad, but not bad entirely, because we are able to have some sensible conversations because we've gained some bit of
some
knowledge.
of us are just born with common sense. Trust me, it's not the education system.
Surely, you can be born with common sense.
You find someone who has not seen a pen, but they talk more sense than you.
Surely, it can happen.
So
it can happen.
Don't put our intellectuality and our knowledge to the education system.
No.
It ain't done shit.
Olabaye, common sense is not good from education, but intelligence of what on how to, not the entire.
I don't want to go into his story. I don't want to go into his story. But the most intelligent people that have ever served this country and that ever left this country never saw a blackboard.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm just basically telling you to rule that out. That education has given us intellectuality to speak on such platforms and give out.
Let me tell you.
Apart from learning a new language, English, it ain't done shit.
It ain't done shit.
Yeah, it ain't done shit. Really, it doesn't. It hasn't. Okay, not yet. Maybe it will no longer. I don't know, but not yet. But a lot of people are complaining about it, and some things you can't just change to Inabila because we have smaller platforms, we have smaller powers and all, but what we not be okay. At the end of the day, you have to suggest something. You have to suggest something and find out, because whenever there are problems, we human beings, we have the brains to create solutions. What know your solution? But the problem between unemployment. Kids are willing to work, but they're not working.
Another problem, I think also that jobs are very few. The jobs are quite few. There is the other aspect of volunteering, like I mentioned. The jobs, people need money. Someone has to survive at the end of the day. So, yes, the jobs are quite few, I would say. Though, if at all they are there, like I've been told, many people be saying that the jobs are actually there. We just don't know where they are. Now, yeah.
If those motivational speakers will be talking shit.
Yeah.
People are struggling and using their pain. Some people, those guys, the jobs more city. Man, you guys, just keep. Man, those guys will be confusing people here.
It is to some extent it can be
no,
true.
wait, those are the guys. Maybe sponsor and those as they have brought something good for them. They're like, man, they are serious. Whatever. I take it, and I see you to be one of them. No, I'm never struggling. I think it's not their fault. I just feel like it's not their fault. I don't see how it's their fault.
You don't see how it's their fault.
But
Yeah.
Muzada atademu
Not
sente.
entirely.
Muzada atademu sente.
Omuzaadde ateekamu ssente.
Omwana agenze ku ssomero. Omwana atademu effort.
Naye labayo kirala twetaaga mindset shift. Twetaaga we know
these
that
kids.
there is no guarantee for a job after education. We need to understand that in our country.
We were in school. Abana, some kids. Winter, they are reading, you're sleeping, you're busy of fruit, you wake up to go and urinate, you find Nankya, she's in class, she's reading, Bambi, she wants to excel, Bambi, and at the end of the day, you find her serving food, and you blame her. Kids are motivated. Yeah? If you give them a proper system, nobody give it a chocolate way, but nobody, this is the line. People are gonna respond. They listen to the laws. They govern you, don't do this, and you don't do it because it's the governance system. System is straight. Kati mulimu abantu nga betaga just guidance. Yeah, with the so-called big people, the so-called brains of the country, so-called leaders. Now just why not take out straight lines? Abantu abali willing, abantu bajaji following, ogame do this and this and this. Someone is willing to do this and this and this, but there's nowhere to do this and this and this because there's no straight line. That's what I'm trying to say. Because omwana wazukire chiro. They don't pay their money. They don't do anything. It's midnight. Why she has woken up. She's reading books. What? They're determined to something.
People struggled.
And at the end of the day,
in school.
yes. And at the end of the day, when they come out to the outside, come out to the outside world, buba full of memes. Don't blame them, man. It's the system. Some people are just good at following rules. That's what I'm trying to say. Like set a proper channel. Not sinti buli oma ino bongo buyiya ti kino kiganye bichi. Some people don't have that, and I don't blame them because their brains don't go past that. You get? I think you get my point. Some people just need to be guided. Just need to.
And who is to guide them?
The system.
The system.
Chegambie, I can name you a country. Ga omwana agenda mala okusoma, and the job is there.
Yeah, these countries have got civilization way before we did.
Anyway, look, no, I'm talking about African countries.
Anyway, there are very many African countries that have got civilization.
Look at Libya in the 1970s, 80s. What was it doing? Gaddafi. I'm saying in the 1970s and 80s. I think these guys were they are creating lakes in their countries that talk about these guys, and that's what you know. You don't know history. That's why. You know, it's a crime not to know.
I've really tried to go away from the comparison, but it seems now you have gone back to it.
No, what I'm trying to say is, it's not a comparison. It's bring things to, I'm trying to give you, to make you understand my point. I'm trying to, my point of view.
Exactly what I was doing earlier. And
for you, what you're doing, you're like, you expect...
I was trying to bring my point.
You expect everyone
we need a mindset shift. By all means, trust me, even if the country does what, we have no mindset shift. We expect that...
We need a third party here.
We expect that we are going to get jobs after campus at the age of 22, 23.
Hey, bigger and things like that happen. And yes, but right now, the point at hand is I need a job. Give me a job, the rest will be my responsibility. But minus giving me a job, you're like, before you give me a job, how would you know Neisa? How do you know my mindset shift on the job? You get what I mean? I feel...
Before all that, someone cannot know your mindset and all that, but Omanyoku referring to a job, somebody referring it to a job, and you disappoint them at the end of that day. Anyway.
For you, anyway, let's go in for a short breather. We shall be back in a few. See you in a few.
Okay. The conversation it's heating up.
Anyway, look, welcome back from that short break. We're back. So, literally, let's just sit on this in a few minutes and we depart from here.
Yeah.
So we talked about the reasons why there are mob unemployment rates. You talked about attitude of some people's attitudes in youth.
And also mindset.
You're talking about youth, my attitude, mindset. Okay. Before you are
guiding.
Yeah.
For them, they cannot think for themselves. You're not all the same.
Yes, it's not it's much they were without guiding. For that thing of the attitude and what? Okay, I don't know, like, can we want to? I look at these things. I look at these things in my own perspective. I find opportunity a syndicate chigari cha watermelon. And that's the opportunity they have gotten. And someone's like, wafuna chikole, wafuna gwakasasiro musombe.
Looking at all these things, to the next I was saying entrepreneurship, because sometimes you can also kuva ola chachenga mi mindset but solo kukuzanga gwe olimuyiya, you are a builder, not to get no fuka an entrepreneur, not an business.
Some people are molded by the ambera.
Yeah, also the situation can also mold you.
Wagena kusomero to ina kunywa since baby class aba no baina no fuka mujagu what and situation molds you no fuka. You become something. Yes, you become something just like that because of the situation.
Just so okay.
But anyway, there are more factors.
But you should explore entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship, yes. Even jobs are not there. Let's say that. Jobs there.
Jobs to Agambe,
because you told me about your entrepreneurs who be motivating people here. Someone like jobs are there. And then you know the explanation. Do you know the explanation they give?
Jobs is a connection.
Connection is yours.
Connection.
Because we are 50 million people. Connection is yo. Ina we koma. Again abantu abasoke million yomunana. Negata. Kati wana wasigade 42 million. Connection te ina we batu. But this entrepreneur you're telling me about. Simanya jobs are there. They be giving irrelevant examples. But they have Kasasiro there. And you're crying for a job. No, sir. Okay, sometimes you drive us to pay, do you guys? But anyway.
Honestly, people are hustling. You find somebody. There is this girl I know, Aliku Exe. I know she's an accountant. Now here you find she has a sports center, tunda those things for sports, jazzes and all. Yet and they say smanga ushering services. Oh, do you know you shouldn't talk to her, honestly. Hustle after hustle. Otankaka no isao kali. Ino yingiza.
Tibabango ina mwechikazi. Oh.
Hey,
the way someone these girls be wanting to, but nah, you don't think so.
And if you're broke,
anyway, you know, there's some things that just can't happen. Bro, even if right now, there's some things that are just made like they are natural. Bro, even if Tolina and some lady passes by, you'll have to your neck will have to elongate and you'll be like, I have to do something. So some things just come naturally. But anyway, things like that, you just have to work. But then about the jobs, we just have to I don't even know what to say, because I think I'm one of the unemployed youth. Per se, like
you're one of them.
Yeah. Leave alone my leave alone my short-time gig here at CBM Radio. We're here always, vibe bitchy. Then after that, like you have CBM Radio, you find that our episode takes up to 1 hour. You get maybe another hour maybe for crafting the information I want to put out here. We do research. We don't just come out here and bubble stuff anyhowly. I just want our listeners to know that, But then after like that limited time, what do you use how do you use the rest of the time, Like it's like we use a limited time here.
Yeah.
What do you use the rest of the time? You find you're back to the ground. You're one of the people you're talking for. Yeah.
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 It happens.
So sometimes solutions nothing to know.
I think also drawing back to the system, there is a serious point of capital. Yet they will come out here and we tell people you start your own business. Now even in business, they know there is no money to push the business forward.
They need a business idea ngalo capital. My God. If I got a sponsor, now tell me, charge kuba if you still
capital. Capital. That's why I think that's why the system needs to the education system, the system itself, the leadership system, people coming up with those policies is so long attracting investors in our country.
Those loans business.
This younger we saw stats between Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania, the investment that has been coming in through those three countries from last year.
From me.
And you could see the big difference. Kenya is attracting so many investors. And Uganda,
Kenya.
I don't remember the numbers.
Kenya is like second world.
Yeah, I mean Kenya is way advanced than Uganda. You can even tell from their
Kenya is second world.
Their economic structures and also
Moalo. So
now we are landlocked. That is also another problem. That one.
Mombasa. Imagine if Mombasa was Ugandan port. That will be that will be 1 million jobs in Gazi. Like a lot of activities go around places like that. Busy. Here we only have Kampala. Then I think that's why. Then other cities developing Zimbarara, they're developing what, but we only have Kampala. But you find that a seaport is something that's very major to the extent that if you ask someone the capital city of Tanzania, they come and tell you Dar es Salaam. And yet, literally, initially, it was Dodoma. Dodoma was the capital city. But a lot of activities go around Dar es Salaam. Dar es Salaam has developed and what. That's... Okay, some things you don't have control over, but that's something also like you have to look at.
Something that contributes a lot.
Like that's an advantage. So if we don't have that advantage, then what can we do about it? Because you can always find a way to change tides on advantage. Yeah, you can. Anyway, we shall.
Things like corruption, they're trying to connect the two countries. Have you heard of AFCFTA, African Free Continental Trade Area?
Yeah, it's about something like
that. Those things, people come up with those ideas. They are so hard to implement. They are so hard to implement. Ngosanga, people are always in these discussions. Actually, in Uganda, conversations. People are always in conversations. Bana inete aliche bakola. Batesa na yete bigwa. Policies bazogenda kote zigwa.
The economy is on.
Never know.
We have Uganda. Sometimes comedy.
If I'm to advise, at least when it comes to unemployment, people, let's try to look so much into online work. These days, online work is selling. Online work, social media management. Many people are earning from social media management, me inclusive. So you should give it a try, anyone out there. Unemployed, you can give it a try. Get those skills.
Get those skills. That was what I was going to say. Like, I think social media management, you have to first get a skill.
Get those skills. Anyway, after those skills,
like we have free knowledge. Doing on YouTube.
Utilize those things, man. Online work. Gigs. The guy is tapping into the gig economy. Now, you go to Mukayumba and you think that the gig is going to come to you, connect with people, man. Gigs come to those people who are networked. Yeah? One network, eh?
Network.
Olina amanya moganyona amanya kwogera solo acting.
Connection tuzijja mu bbala. Kati gwe omwana we Katanga, where are you going to find these guys? You're going to find them in the what? In the non-V's. Jana omukube akakuwa business card yao kumachanga ali soba. Yeah, you know you have to position yourself. Things like that.
Kali. Yeah. Anyway, so like we've been discussing unemployment, and I feel like in a topic it's a very big one, Morgan. Not so. Yeah, it's a very large, big one.
Large. Though actually for us, our content is dynamic. You know, like, we are talking about serious stuff, and then we put fun to it. You know, like we just want to keep you engaged as youth. We don't want to leave you out, but then even if I'm talking about something in a jokey way, it could be working for you, especially can take it
and you can leave your thoughts in the comments, guys. I've recently been commenting, man, guys, you're breaking our hearts. What is the command? We are also just unemployed youth trying to
kubaganya vilowozo. Actually we are not professionals here. That's like those are just our thoughts. You can be like, but here will be so we add up our thoughts and all and we get solutions. It was Labor Day yesterday, so we wanted to slide in with that employment stuff, and I don't know what you've gotten from it. I don't know what your suggestion is. You can always leave us a comment on our YouTube channel at CBM Radio. We'll find it. We'll be able to get back to you. We'll even send you shout outs to the next episode. Find you there. Discuss. Keep it engaging and all.
Thank you so much for listening. It has been Edna, the lady herself, on CBM Radio, and
it's been Claudia Morgan. We're always here for good vibes. Check us out at CBM Radio, TikTok, CBM Radio, Instagram, CBM Radio everywhere, and actually see me around Claudia Morgan on all my socials. It remains your boy Claudia Morgan, Reality Buzz, Edna, with me here. We sign out.